Yes, good luck with that. Now, here is a true love story. If you believe that love transcends everything, then here we go. When Nicky and John first met in 2002, they never dreamt that 7 years later they would be swapping makeup and sharing beauty tips.
Not long after their first kiss, John confessed he'd always felt trapped in the wrong body. So when the couple finally tied the knot 3 years ago, Nicky knew the man she was marrying would soon turn himself into a woman named Rebecca. And Nicky and Rebecca join us now. So it's lovely to meet you both, and we've sort of covered a number of these sort of stories on this very sofa, and usually the people we talk to say from a very early age they knew that they were trapped in the wrong body.
Oh, yes.
And did you know right from the word go?
From the age of about 4 or 5, my first memories. Yeah, absolutely.
And so how did that affect you as you grew up and the relationships that you could have with people?
The guilt's huge, so you try and fit in, you try and pretend it doesn't exist, you try and deal with it, you repress it, you bury it, but it just keeps coming back and biting you on the bum.
Yes. And so when you come to sort of serious relationships in later life,
yeah.
Does it make you hold back? I suppose you have a really sort of very tough protective shield around you.
Absolutely, the fear of rejection is absolutely huge. So the whole thing of letting people get close to you becomes almost false. Because if they get close and find out the real you, they're going to go. So everything just has a sort of like a brick wall between me and the other person.
Yeah. And you were a martial arts instructor, a butch martial arts instructor.
I was an 18.5 stone bodybuilder, martial artist. Yes. Yeah.
And were you attracted to women or men?
Just women, but it's very attractive women, but things didn't always work the way they should.
No.
So it always led to
failed relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So then you meet Nicky, because Nicky starts to attend your martial arts classes.
Yep.
And Nicky was going through a difficult divorce and, you know, all those problems. Yeah. And you found that talking to your martial arts instructor, John, was a lovely release, because he was a man who really listened to you and shared your problems, and you developed a very good friendship.
We did, yeah.
And after 8 or 9 months, that friendship went a step further, and you found yourself getting physically close to each other, but it didn't really go according to plan.
No.
So at what point did that John person say to you, this is the truth?
Yeah, it was shortly after we started to get close and kissed and things like that, that you know, the conversation had to be had.
Why isn't this working?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Is it something I'm doing wrong?
Absolutely. So you then, I suppose, you've got to come clean. You've got to
Yeah,
say
it was
what the problem is.
I'd got to a point in my life where I thought I'm never going to have another normal relationship, because I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But I got really, really close to Nicky and found I was falling in love with her, and just had to say, I've got to tell you something. And it was like the deep breath, and here we go again. But she was fantastic.
Well, what did you think then when that happened?
I was surprised, yeah. But by then I'd fallen in love with the person that was inside the body, and to be honest, you know, I could see Rebecca inside, and yeah, you know, that person was the person I fell in love with.
So over the years, you didn't tell too many people, you didn't want too much, because who knows to know too much? They knew that you were two people who were very happy.
Yeah.
And John went and had some facial surgery, 3 or 4 ops, I think, to make your face more feminine. The hormone treatment started, so you have breasts. And when you finally got married, it must have been very difficult for you to be in a suit and a tie.
Absolutely.
Had you ever dreamt of the big white wedding dress, or not really?
Not really. I'm not sort of into that sort of thing. I mean, it was difficult because I wanted to. We got married, and I was wearing the suit and tie, and that was really, really awkward.
Yeah. So it wasn't to do with the cross-dressing. That wasn't the thing.
No,
It's just
I think
you were a woman. You
yeah,
are a
I mean,
woman.
being transsexual is nothing really to do with dress up.
No,
It's about what you feel like inside.
But you get married, and then it was only 2 months ago, this incredible Christmas present, I'm assuming, having done a ton of research, you find a female surgeon in Colorado, in America, who not only happens to be female, but she's also an obstetrician gynaecologist, so she understands
Exactly.
all the workings. And she has given you something, taken away something and replaced it
absolutely.
with something that is really, well,
Fully operating.
fully operating, top
Yes.
of the
Not that I've
range.
tested it yet, but it does.
Well, yes, because you say you haven't tested it yet because you're now, you're now, I suppose, you're sort of in a gay relationship now.
Yeah, very much
Were
so.
you a gay woman before? Did you think you were?
No, I always had problems or difficulties within heterosexual relationships. And to be honest, I just fell in love with Becca.
The person, yes,
So,
exactly.
so this means that now you have been given a new part of your anatomy, a fantastic working part of your anatomy, which which hasn't sort of probably been used. I would have thought.
It's a bit sore, Phil.
Well,
I'm
it's
sure
only
it 2 months ago.
In a gay relationship, it's a little bit like having a bridge and not actually driving across it, I would have thought.
Well, yeah, but there's other ways of getting across the water.
Okay, yeah, good.
Very nicely put. Because our audience, I'll just say, if there's anybody of a sensitive nature or children around, just quietly turn this down and record it, because I don't want to be specific. And you
Anything you
have
want.
given me permission, yes.
Absolutely anything you want, Fern.
So this brand new vagina
Yep.
is self-lubricating.
It is.
How does that work?
She takes the mucous membrane, and basically I have the same mucous membrane inside my vagina as a genetic female, so it self-lubricates. It takes a while to settle down, but it self-lubricates. It's not every surgeon who does the SRS does that, but Marcy Bowers in the US does.
Wow, and the same pleasure?
It will. It's like anything. I call it phantom limb syndrome. Things are still feeling weird. Imagine, and then suddenly going, oh, it's not there. Ouch. That sort of thing. So it's all settling down, and things that you feel.
So you feel a phantom penis?
Occasionally, yeah. I've gone. It's not there to be tight.
What, like an erection?
Well, they never have many of those anyway.
Okay.
So it's like something gets caught, and it's like, it's not there to get caught.
We sadly we could talk about this all day, but we have to go now. We've got to go to a break. But what I will say is, as Fern said, it's lovely to see true love, and thank you for coming in today.
It's a celebration of love.
Yeah, it really
It is
is.
absolutely. It's something very spiritual. We're
Thank you
very
for being so honest as well.
Yes,
and
no,
good luck.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Been
Thank
fantastic,
you
isn't
very
it?
much.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go. Still to come, we've got Shobna Gulati, and she's going back to the dinner ladies.
Yes, Papa, we know.